So we are running through the Nashville market today, and I'm going to create a strategy here. Thinking about doing some kind of buy and hold here. Um, we got $2 million to spend, or sorry, $1 million to spend. That's probably going to be about two, three, maybe four properties there. So let's go ahead and make a strategy. I'm going to create a new one. Definitely going to be a Nashville market. That's the market I'm going with today, and starting from scratch. Okay. Cap rate, I'm going to be pretty selective on this one. I think I'm going to go 6% cap rate here. Let's make sure it cash flows a little bit. Obviously, it's going to cash flow, but I'm not too worried about that. We'll focus more on cap rate today. So let's see, June 23rd cap. Yeah. So I won't spend a ton of time here, but I'm definitely going to make sure we got 3 bedrooms. Nothing crazy. In Nashville, you can't get anything under 100,000 anyway, but let's go ahead and put a minimum of 200,000 and maximum. Then I'm gonna make sure we get at least 4 properties. At least 2 properties out of this one. So we'll say max 500,000. 2 bath, and let's say at least a garage. Well, no, I don't need a garage there. Year built, at least 1970. And we only care about houses, so I don't want anything else right now. And school and safety are probably the only two things I care about here. So let's see. Let's go. This is similar to like a grade schools rating. So if you see something on here, it's not grade schools, but it's proprietary school rating and safety rating. I just want to make sure we're not in like that terrible area. So we're going to give that a minimum 20. And I do want to make sure that population is growing. So let's put like 0.1. Flood risk, no high risk. And we're not going to worry about financing. This is going to be cash only. So we'll take that out. And you can adjust this if you'd like. So maybe another time we'll do that. We're going to offer 95% of the rent price. And yeah, 6% cap rate. Make sure it cash flows. A little bit of population growth. And yeah, let's go check it out. We've got 12. We might have to make this a little bit looser of a market, because 6 cap is going to be hard to get in Nashville. But we've got 12 matching properties. So I'm going to check each one of them out and underwrite them and see what we got here. This is the Nashville market. So if it's core Nashville, we're not going to find any of those. But that's okay. We just want to be in the Nashville market. We're spending $1 million. We've got probably 3 of these properties is going to work. They're hovering around the 300,000. We might fit 4 if we can get a little bit off the price. Let's go ahead and check it out. So I'm on strategy matches. So that means these do meet all of the strategy criteria that I met. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built to 1970 or higher, and they've got at least fit our price range and a 6 cap. So if you're not familiar, cap rate is just your net operating income. So not including your debt, but just the expenses of the property and how much you're making from it. So if you made $10,000 on the year, you bought the house for $100,000, and your expenses were $5,000, then you've got $5,000 as your net operating income. It's 10 minus 5 is 5. And you bought the house for $100,000, that's a 5% cap rate. So that's what we're meaning there. It's just kind of a rate of return that takes into account your expenses, but doesn't take into account what kind of financing. You can buy it all cash or you can have it financed. It's a pure cap rate. It's a pure rate of return that you can compare with all types of properties and how you're acquiring them. By the way, if you're new here, this is actually my first time going live, but I am AC. I was a real estate agent for 7 years, a high performing agent, but I moved into the analytics space and decided to start building on the data and tech side of things. So now I work at an investment company or real estate investing tech company that builds the software that we use. And so we help investors invest quite a bit of money here. And this is sort of just underwriting some properties and showing how we do that for $1 million. So without jumping too much further, I'm going to go ahead. If you got questions, go ahead and you can ask anything about real estate, tech, data, investing, etc. But otherwise, I'm going through here and I'm just going to be underwriting these properties. So these are on the MLS, but we do have off MLS potentially. So It's probably good to check that. We have these 12, but let's go ahead and check, see what we have off MLS too. Yeah, nothing going on in our cap rate in Nashville. So I'm gonna go ahead and underwrite this one. So let's jump in. I can get a quick, you know, look at this property. Looks like we have a few comps. They don't look like they're going to be great, so we'll check it out. Okay, so these are rental comps. I'm going to look at the rent price first because I think we got to make sure it can actually rent for what we think it will. Rent estimated around 2,000. These comps don't look like it's going there though. This is a new build, so this is probably more of a build to rent. Let's check out yeah, it's a new build 2025. So I'm thinking we're going to rent quite a bit higher. It's only 1,200, 1,300 square feet. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit bigger. Let's look at comps in the last 12 months and make sure that they are at least somewhat new. Yeah, we don't have anything here. I'm going to go back a little further just to make sure there's nothing we're missing. But yeah, I think this is going to be out just because we can't find good comps for it. Yeah, we'll find sale comps, I'm sure. Yeah, a little more new builds and things like that. But if I can't find rental comps, and it's a little risky for me. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that one with a reason. Just say, look, we don't know. There's no comps. And head on back. All right. Let's check the next one out. Let's see if we got some comps on this one. This one looks a little better. Says we got a 6.6 cap rate. That's pretty high. I'm going to check out this property and see what kind of condition it's in. This probably not one we're going to be focusing on investing in, but let's check it out anyway. Let's see what kind of comps we've got. All right, so got a few. I'm going to pull up, look the last 12 months. It defaults to the last 6 months, but I think we'll look at the last 12 months to get a few more options here. So these are our rental comps. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 3, 2.5. They're both running around 2,000. I think it's probably a little high to say we could get 2,200 for this. So that's our estimated rent, but I'm going to bump that down and see. Let's put our rent in there. Rent price. I had played around with, let's refresh this now. Yeah, there's rent price. Let's just go with an even 2,000, and I think that's going to drop our cap rate. Yeah, below 6. I'm gonna go ahead and add it to leads just because it's close. If we could get a little more, I think that renovation budget's a little high, but it's probably close to that. So I'm gonna add it to leads and come back to it. I don't think we're gonna invest in that one. All right. Okay, we got a few on Clarity Way. This is a new build community here. I have 3 different properties here, so I'm gonna go ahead and click into one of them. They're all the same square footage, beds, baths. Actually 4 different properties on Clarity Way. We'll just pick one. This is definitely a new build, 2025. It's only been on the market 21 days. These we could use as a build to rent type thing. I think they're just new builds in general, but let's see. We could rent 2177. I think we're going to be able to rent higher than that. Let's check it out. What did this one rent for? This was a 2020 build, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1,400 square feet. We're 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1,400 square feet, but it's a little newer. I think we can bump up. Yeah, 2,200 is probably where we're looking at. Let's just call it a 2,150. I think that's going to get us right at that edge. Yeah, 6% cap rate. I think that 2,000 renovation budget, it's kind of unnecessary. So go ahead in there. I think this one's a pretty nice spot. We've got 4 different homes we can choose from. That gives us a 6% cap rate. Let's check the taxes though. I can see the taxes being interesting on this one since it's a new build. Yeah, those taxes are low. Let me check my others. I'm on another tab here, but I'll check this out. And I'm going to look up our actual taxes from last year. This is probably, so the thing about new builds is they tend to take the taxes as if they were just a land because they haven't changed yet to the new builds. So I'm thinking I'm gonna need to bump that up a little bit. I don't have a good number, but I'm gonna use that as an estimate. Let's see. Save changes. And yeah, it's gonna bump us down a little. Not to mention our estimations. I didn't, change our strategy too much. We're probably gonna have a leasing fee in here. So maybe this one isn't quite as good as we want. Taxes were low. So we're gonna put these out. And I'm just putting this note in here just in case anybody else checks this out on my team. Obviously, we're not doing this, for real money at the moment, but if we did, we would not want to see anybody come in and underwriting the same property that I already did. So if I had another analyst on my team, definitely don't want to have that. Yeah, and if you're new here, been a real estate agent for I was a real estate agent for 7 years. I'm still technically licensed, but I was mainly focused on investing, and now I'm in the analytics space. I work for a real estate tech company that builds products for real estate investors. So I've kind of been on both sides of it now, and now I just uh, building cool tech products that are helping people out and helping real estate investing. So today we're just going to go through and spend $1 million in the Nashville market. So feel free to put questions in the chat, and if you see something got a thought about, or if you want me to underwrite a different property, we can jump into that one as well. All right, we're going to call it at that one. Good run.